Hi, Taurus. Good morning. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to write this down. Okay. Just a little something to do together. These are my little Swiss cheese. It's kind of perfect lighting too, which is cool. Pisces season. Pisces season, okay. Pisces season. Mercury moves into your sign at the end of the month. We'll get more into that in the second part. So these are going to be different now. I'm going to be like most readers out here because it saves time for things and, change. Just got to switch it up. So, and I love doing these. So here we go. Here we have you dreaming more this month. Really coming into your own version of what you decide is worth it in your life for the long term. How life will also interfere with that at points. And what you're willing to let go of now for that. What you're willing to change and what subconsciously will come up to change as well. This might happen over a period of time, and it has been happening over periods of time this past almost 2 years. Because in a few months, we'll wrap up the eclipses in your sign in Scorpio. If there is at all any sign that you are going to get married or go into that next step of your relationship, in your personal relationship, romantic wise, or even business, this is both a very intimate place. Even if you are moving or doing something, a physical change for yourself. Okay, so that has been moving in a slower way in terms of ideally. You've been thinking about this for a while or putting it on the back burner and not bringing it to your attention, and now I think and it's not that it's like you didn't want to know, it's just that you've had to go through what you had to go through to get here now. This is where you are. And so that's what we're rolling with, right? You know that if you choose to change instead of being taken along for the ride, that what you may have been trying to force, and it could have been a lot of things, is no longer working. That you finally see that regardless if it's something that you think you want, it's not what it seems. And sometimes we get caught up in what that is. Get caught up in what it's supposed to be, or what, supposedly it was supposed to be. And so I think that it's life just kind of, I'm going to relate it to this. The cupping modality, this is actually an old cup, a glass one that you would put on your body. And they'd somehow get fire in there. I don't know the whole technical procedure for that, but I have and done cupping on my own body. I've gotten it done with plastic or silicone. And it's amazing what, instead of a massage, but both, and sensing the knot or the disease in the part of the body and putting a cup on it and letting it like just suck everything out, and yet you're just receiving that, right? So when we've talked about before, and I think I've talked about it with you, is that when it's after you've chipped into the wood, or you've made something in the sand, you have to blow the sand away, or whatever it is, where you have to blow something away in order to see, like if you're playing with chalk, maybe even when you're younger, let's put it in that term, and you have to blow it away in order to see the final result. It's like that. And it's not that we're looking for a final result here, but you're just so much more sure, even though it feels like a whole new adventure, you're just so much more sure of what your life and what it's like being in your life and being in other people's lives requires. You can have different kinds of acquaintances, you can have different people that you connect with for business, or be in a relationship that has different connections or different cultures or something of that sort, and you realize that a lot of certain things that may clash with that or collide in some way, that it doesn't actually matter. It's just that maybe it's like understanding why they do. Like, why is that a collision? Why does that have to be a collision? And confidently and very accurately, so we have this moving forward theme, what I think Aries and Venus and Jupiter is revealing to you is that whatever is going to come up for you to have to face or handle within your ego, within the part of you that wants a little bit more control over something, that it's like the squares that happen in the sky in astrology, with the squares that you couldn't be rubbing up against things and feeling really tight in some areas, like very disciplined, very needing to focus, to preserve, and then expending in other areas in your life. And you notice how those things can both equal up at some point and then, eventually balance out. And what do I mean by that? Is that that sometimes when something about you gets overexposed, even especially to yourself, that you realize, oh, that's kind of funny, or it doesn't carry as much weight, and it goes from being one thing to being something else. From maybe being more important to now understanding why or where something is coming from, or what situation caused you to respond in this way, whether it was in the past or not. This is why I have to clean my counter so much, please. He likes to play fetch. My cat likes to play fetch, okay? That's it. And he's excited about it. So there could be something also very exciting about this, that you may also be finding something that through this, it's guiding you to do something you really enjoy. You may realize that you've put certain roots in certain places, and it's now finally time for those things to become conscious, to come above the soil, and you recognize that sometimes with that other things, decay. They maybe have had their blooming and it's not their season anymore. It's like the best way to put it. Because Taurus, more than anyone and why you can be. Not all Tauruses are this way, but when you are resistant to change, or if you're a Taurus that has resistance in some areas and other areas, then in certain ways it's good to challenge yourself to be more spontaneous. But it's a very generalized term of Taurus. Yes, there are things that you like, and if you've been around it long enough, usually you're okay with that thing. But if you haven't, then sometimes, because you don't know every view of it yet, you know, you haven't observed it enough, you haven't been in it enough, you haven't been around it enough, that you think that you can't adapt. But then you do it and you realize how much you do adapt in your own way. Not, you know, you still have your parts about you, not completely mutable, you know, you're fixed. And that you impact things. Oh, baby. Oh, my kid. Oh, he just wants to play. You need to give that side of yourself maybe attention. That's probably what my kitty, you know. Give yourself that attention, that side of yourself. That knows how to play, that knows you know how to play, that you know how to enter a room, that you know how to work a room. That you can get everything you need through even one experience within that thing or around that thing. So also for some of you, there could be an Aries or a Sagittarius in your life who, as much as you want to move forward and as much as you want to keep going, it seems as though that they're just not ready. So you don't have to choose and necessarily wait, but they might take it personally. Fire signs take a lot of like specific things personally, even if they don't want to tell you. So just know that if it's that personal with specific signs, right now, Venus and Jupiter both being reversed, Mars, everything being reversed, Mars is going to enter your sign, not for a while, sorry. Mercury is entering your sign at the end of the month, and it's possible that some people show you who they really are through this side of you that has always been there, but it's like really emerging now. It's like, okay, it's time for this part of you to be the most shiny, the most apparent, right? And so people who don't or wouldn't expect that of you or don't want that of you or whatever it is, even subconsciously, may show you who they really are. So don't be afraid of that. This dreaming and knowing is the most important thing. This trust, this deep, deep trust that you know that you will come out of the ground every spring. And that you do. And that whatever constraints have been revealed, there's no match to the grace and the strength that you have to move through what is happening already. We'll go into that into the second part. All right, Taurus. We'll go through more of what all of this is in the next part, which will be in a link below. We will see you then. Or I will see you then. I don't know why I would say we.